Hello everyone. So over the last few days I've been going through all the characters in the Tekken 8 roster, learning about these redesigns and how the characters play now. There's a lot of fun stuff to find, but something that I wasn't expecting was last night when I finally had a look at bears and I realized that this is unironically one of my favorite designs in this entire game. The redesign is really, really excellent. I unironically think that you should be playing bears right now because they are intuitive, they are fun, they make a lot more sense, and I also think they might be a lot more powerful than people expect. These characters might even be a little bit slept on right now. They've been considered quite weak in the past, but this is really quite different. But a lot of the same berry goodness. One of the main reasons I never really tried bear seriously was that the quality of life was very low because there was a lot of awkwardness with the move list. A lot of the moves were old and spawned off a jack, had poor range. Your combos were kind of powerful but didn't feel good to do because you had really long recovery time on your spin moves and things like that. Right now, though, I think bears, like I said, no joke, are super, super cool. And don't neglect them just because they're bears. If you give them a chance in this game, I think you'll be impressed. It's much, much more fun than you might think. So let's talk about how the characters have changed a little bit with Panda and Kuma. The heat for these characters is also one of the best, if not the best heat I've seen. Like in terms of the quality of the design and the ideas behind it, which is also like really cool. They put some serious effort into bears. Okay, you've always had this extremely fantastic long-range 15-frame launcher with bears, so your whiff punishment has always been excellent. The combos that you get now are also extremely high quality and very high damage. Bears do like extremely high damage in this game, and let's just try and do like a normal bread and butter that I found to show you what the damage is like. You can do this, and it's like not hard to do at all. That's a standard 15 frame launcher and I'm getting 79 damage. You can also, like for a lot of characters, incorporating heat in the combo doesn't really add that much or do that much for you, but with bears, I really think it works better than you'd suppose. You can dash here, get some heat going, you know? And get like, if that had connected, if I'd done it faster, I think it's something like 95 damage off of this. So there's actually some strategic application of your heat that will add meaningful damage. And combos as well, which is excellent. So the combo is super solid, right? And you have a bunch of really good, like surprisingly good launchers. This thing has always been excellent. Your while standing 2 is a standard 15 frame while standing 2. So even though you're a big goofy animal, you're actually not worse for range or impact frames than most other characters. And your damage is better, right? Some other really cool launchers that you have with this character. I mean, one that is going to be so awesome in this version of the game specifically is the 1-1-1. So this is like, it used to be forward 1-1-1, and there was some awkwardness with getting that input out properly in the previous game, but now they just changed it to 1-1-1, so it's very easy to just spam out for you. And that's sort of exactly what you want to do with this move, because in Tekken 8, it's built a lot around aggression, and you've been playing against all these Reinas online and the Horongs, who just, run at you with moves all the time. If you have a 10 frame gap here, this is a 10 frame counter hit launcher for big damage, and that is more valuable in this version of the game than any other. So I think this is a huge asset to the character. It means that the opponent actually has to be scared of mashing against you, and they have to know their frame data. And right now what people want to do when they play Tekken 8 is mash and not be scared, and they don't want to know their frame data. But if you look at this thing, it's not astronomical, but it's definitely not small. See that? I'm getting 72 damage off of a 10 frame counter hit launcher. And if you're new to the franchise, counter hit launchers that fast really don't exist. It's like an anomaly for something to be that fast and that powerful. It's also true that in Tekken 8, they've been removing most of the fast counter hit launchers, and characters tend to have their best counter hit or fastest counter hit launcher around 15. So that's super, super good. So the combos are excellent, right? You have this thing still. The input for this right now is forward 1+2, but it's really good. It's a big launcher. it's plus on block, and it's mid. And there's a setup that you can do using this. And I have to give a quick shout out here. Just one moment, please. I'm going to look up this guy's name, because there's this guy on YouTube who's already done some excellent content on bears. His name is J Cats. So if you're interested in these characters at all, check him out, because he's putting up great videos and showing you techniques and stuff. But with bears, right? If you end your combo with a forward 4 like this forward 1+2 is inescapable for the opponent. They either have to eat it on the ground, or they have to, even if they go to the side, they are going to block this, which means that you do good damage, and then you're getting like a mix on top of it, which is excellent, right? So the combo game is much, much improved. You also have some cool new tools for the combos, like this new spin move and combo ender. I didn't use it in any of my standard combos, but it's definitely not bad. I mean, spam it out twice and you get 61, right? So in a lot of combos where you're doing shorter stuff, you might be using this, like this for while standing 2 is pretty good. And you get 50, and then you can end with something big, you know? Like maybe you do this. See that? So really, really awesome. So that's one part. The combo game is not low quality of life or awkward anymore. It's actually some of the best combo game I've seen for any character in this game so far. Before we show you all the other awesome stuff, let's actually show you some wall stuff as well, because it's really funny. Okay, so you have this new string with Kuma and Panda, which is down forward 1, 2, 1+2. This thing is so scary. It's kind of amazing. So it's 15 frames to impact. It's a 3-hit string. The last hit is very delayable. The way this works is if you get the last hit, it will spike the opponent to the ground, and down 1+2 butt smash, or this crazy 30 damage low that you have that you can charge and it deals 60 damage, becomes guaranteed on the floor. This entire string is a natural combo on counter hit, and you can counter hit confirm it, which means that you can fish with this, delay the 3rd hit. When you see the counter hit, you can pull the trigger, smash them to the ground, and deal basically a full combo worth of damage. If you do the low, it's 60 damage total, so it's a full combo worth of damage for hitting with this. It also becomes one of the most like solid wall combos in the entire game, because this works after a wall splat. So you can splat the opponent or carry them to the wall through a combo, and then do this. And as long as you delay the final hit, that's guaranteed on the ground, and the damage is massive. If you spam it out like this, they will be able to block it, as you can tell right here. So say for example that I still have my spin available, I can do stuff like this. I had to be a little bit faster there. That's 82 damage for the wall combo, right? So absolutely incredible. And this string by itself, just the fact that you have this makes you more threatening. The range is good. The impact speed is kind of slow, but if this was any faster, it would kind of be a little bit too good. But you're kind of working with a very strong counter hit character in a lot of ways, which is super interesting as well, right? Okay, I want to talk about claw moves, because bears have a claw moves. Now, it's like the most interesting and fun change to them. But before that, let's talk a little bit about lows. So your lows are actually surprisingly good. You've always had this down back 2, which is long range and excellent, right? This down back 3 that you have actually gives you advantage on hit and has much better range than you would think. But a thing that bears has sort of lacked, in my opinion, in the past is a slightly higher power low that you can use for mix-ups, and something with a bit of a counter hit property that you can use outside of stance. So what they've done is they've removed your snake edge, which I think is great because I'm not a fan or a huge fan of snake edges, and they've turned it into a 21 frame to impact counter hit low, kind of like the type that Lars uses, you know, with his down back 4. This is now a much faster counter hit launcher. 21 frames, and it works for damage. You know, it's good when it just hits normally, and then sometimes you get the combo, right? And again, it's not a tiny combo by any stretch of the imagination, right? So that low has been improved, so you're strong in the low department in my opinion. Another really cool quality of life change is when you enter hunting bear stance now, you can do it by just tapping down. You don't have to press multiple buttons, and it makes everything so much more intuitive and easy. So any move that can transition into hunting, all you have to do right now is do the move and then tap down. And then you're going to be able to mix from hunting stance, right? Your moves from hunting are a little bit changed, but mostly the same. You know, the usual suspects. The 2 is going to be the main low now. It's still very strong. The down 1+2 is the big one. You know, it's always been very good. It's a heat engager in this game, which is really cool. And then you have, you know, your throws, your big, you know, meaty knockdown lows and all the rest of it. So hunting is actually still pretty strong. A thing I love about hunting is this hunting 1 that they've given you. It's like a fast mid from stance, really fast. If you float somebody or you're doing a combo, this floats them very comfortably and allows you to do all kinds of stuff for conversions. And then you have this extension that not only makes it a really solid 13 frame block punisher for lows, so you can, like, you know, punish Dragonovs for abusing down 2 as they will with this, but, you know, blocking lows you can punish hard with this. Your while standing for is 20 damage and sparks, by the way. So I mean, the low punishment or the while standing punishment is really solid, but you also have the ability to charge this while standing move and turn it into this massive claw move. So let's talk a little bit about these claw moves, and then I'm going to explain why Kuma and Panda have like some of the best heat design of any character in this game, which is really like the most fascinating part of this whole thing. So you have a bunch of moves with these characters now where these streaks come out and these claws show up. When they hit, it sounds like a gunshot and it's super, super satisfying. But what's cool about them is they actually do some very decent chip damage. And they're safe for the most part. So you can really harass opponents with a lot of these claw moves in a row and stack them up during the match. And you're going to do... Like, it's one of the few characters where you have very, very solid access to chip damage outside of heat, right? And it's supposed to be a very useful part of this game. So you can play them in that style. You can actually use a lot of your claw moves and get a lot of chip on people. And then maybe activate heat and try and close the round out before they're able to recover that health back. So it's like an interesting game plan, right? So... the 1-2, this is 10 frames to impact. It's safe on block at -5, and if it counter hits, it becomes natural for 31. So this is very safe. You can throw this at a range, and as long as the opponent isn't ducking it because you're abusing it too much, it's like, you know, you can bait with punishes with it and everything. I think it's really excellent. The back 4-2 is still like one of the best moves for these characters. This used to be like a main spin move in the past. Now it's just this safe, excellent high that you can throw out. And if you get a counter hit, it launches for like a massive combo. So there's like no reason not to throw this. It's kind of like a keep out electric in a weird way. It's like super cool, right? You also have the down back 1-2, which is a 14 frame block punisher that's always been good. This can be charged and turned into a heavy claw move. And then the before mentioned while standing 1-2, which can also be held down and charged. These charged moves come in 3 levels. So no charge at all, a little bit of charge, and then the maximum charge. If you do the maximum charge, you actually get advantage on block. So not only are the claws allowing you to continuously deal chip damage during the match, they'll also give you advantage and you can go straight into mixing off of that, which is super cool, right? It's especially dangerous because you have such powerful counter hits, right? Being +3 is not trivial with this character. So I think that's excellent. And again, you have like a bunch of these different claw moves that are... I mean, some of them are seriously good and for the most part safe. If these were unsafe, sort of unga bunga things that you had to throw and put yourself at risk, I think these characters would be a lot worse. The main risk you take right now is that you are dealing with a lot of highs, but you know, as long as you mix up your options and you don't play too obviously, I think you're going to be fine. And this one too right here becomes an excellent counter hitting 10 frame get off me tool. So the get off me game is strong, right? Because you have this. And you have this if you want to go less, you know, balls to the wall. And being able to get people off you in Tekken 8 is so good because everybody's aggressive, right? It also helps that you have this excellent armor move that you've had with the bears in the past. It's still minus 13, but it does go into hunting. So a lot of people struggle to punish this because they will try and like do jabs, for example, to punish it. And if you go into hunting, you just launch them for punching above you. So they need to be very prepared for punishing this the correct way. But it's an excellent armor move. It always has been. And it's a heat engager. Another one of your best moves with the bears has always been running 1+2, and it's a heat engager. So the good moves that you want to use are heat engagers. Now let's talk about what you do in heat. And it's kind of nuanced and cool. And like I've said this with a bunch of other characters, I'm kind of confused with heat because for some characters it feels poorly integrated or sort of tacked on, and you kind of just throw out heat to get somebody off you, and then you throw your heat crash to, like, you know, try and get some damage and not waste it. But for bears, I think it really works. So you can engage with powerful moves, you have good heat engagers, and then when you're in heat, the first thing that happens is that your charge moves with claws, these moves, become faster to charge up. So this right here is actually the maximum charge with the chip damage, the plus on block and everything, but it happens like one step faster. So that makes you much more dangerous when you're pressuring while in heat. So that's one really cool thing. Another cool thing that happens is with the bears, you have this roll stance. You can do it by just crouching and pressing 1+2. Again, like intuitive and easy to use. I think you can forward from hunting. So you're meant to use this tumble in this game. Well, when you have heat activated, the tumble all of a sudden gains a hitbox like that. You can hit them with your butt and it gives you +7, which makes it scary, right? Even better though, if you roll in with heat, hit them with your butt and press the 1 button, you guard break. So that roll 1 right there, this thing, becomes a guard break when you have heat active, and a forward 2-1 becomes completely guaranteed, which means that this is a guaranteed wall splat. But you can also get Demon Breath, which you have now from Heihachi, guaranteed after that. And this also means that you have a good solid 13 frame block punisher right here. You know, you have this for 12. The 10 frame is high mid, which is good, even though the damage isn't massive, but it has this really cute and powerful low extension that you can really harass people with. So I think the punishment is really good as well. For 14 you have like crazy good stuff, and for 15 you have one of the longest range and most high powered 15 frame launchers in the game, you know. So the punishment is super solid. I mean, I mentioned the while standing, right? It's kind of great. So that's one thing that happens in heat. Another thing that happens in heat is you get access to bonus moves. I think these are different for Kuma and Panda. You know, it became a huge meme when Kuma's trailer was out that he gains access to the electric. I think, as far as I know now, that's what Kuma gets, and it seems as though Panda gets a different move. So they are different and distinct in that sense. Panda gets access to shooting stars from Xiaoyu, which is one of Xiaoyu's best moves. So this is already fantastic. But what's cool about this is if you make your opponent block this, you can sort of force that guard break that I showed you earlier, which means that you can go into heat with the bears. You can become more dangerous and mount a lot of pressure while you have it. You still have the option of throwing out your heat crash if you want to for big damage. And then you can use your special little shooting stars move here to force some sort of extra damage at the end. If you're pressuring the opponent near the wall, this makes you so dangerous because the guaranteed wall splat can happen off the guard break. And as I showed you, your wall combo is extremely powerful, right? So that makes you dangerous, but it's also the case that if you're just playing the game normally and you haven't done anything with your heat yet, and you happen to get a powerful launch like this, you can just use it to really soup up one of your main combos. So heat has like several different areas of application, You have good engagers. It's good to do it for you in combos, and you have a natural progression throughout the heat. You're trying to use it to deal chip damage with your claws, and then you end with either a heat crash or this shooting star move. I haven't tried Kuma with his version of the electric, but I bet that's awesome as well. So yeah, it's some of the best heat I've seen. This move, the bear cross, is amazing as well. Check this out. This is high mid. It's a claw move, so as you can tell, it does chip damage. Like, it does a lot of chip damage. It's safe on block, and the second hit is mid. I mean, this is crazy abusable, and it also heat engages, right? And you have these new, like, awesome spin moves for your combos, and you kind of look like a Mishima, but cool. So yeah, I'm just really, really impressed. I played a little bit of online with bears yesterday. I mean, my preferred pick is Panda. I think Panda is just like even more goofy and fun, and I love that shooting stars that she gets in this game. So I mean, honestly, probably not a main character for me, but a character that I will sub in and probably play a lot. I just think with everything, with the new low, with the new stance transitions and combos, with the claw moves, with the like perfectly integrated heat, with the above average grappling, this throw wall splats. You know? So, you know, your heat dashing at the wall maybe. Very popular right now when you gain heat or frame advantage after heat to follow up with a throw. And then, you know, you're just going to like deal massive damage at the wall. You still have this thing, by the way, if you want to do your old classic wall combo. It's still big damage, and I think it's actually easier to do than ever. So, I mean, overall, just super, super impressive. I know I have a lot of, like, weird people who watch my stream, and I've got bear players in the chat or whatever. So, I mean, they are touching themselves right now. But, yeah, there's going to be bear content on the channel, most likely, because this is just super awesome. But my main, like, thing I want to say here is that some of these redesigns to me have not made complete sense. Like I said in an earlier video, I struggled to understand what they're trying to do with Zafina. The concept is sort of there for her heat design with the crystal hand moves or whatever, but it's just not coming together in a way that is advantageous to her or makes a lot of sense. But with the bears, it's just all there. So, I mean, if you can bear the fact, and that is an unintentional pun, I promise, that you have this like large hitbox and your movement is a little bit awkward and you might not be sidestepping as effectively as a lot of other characters. I mean, the rest of it is there. This is super solid, and it's a lot of fun to play around with. And if you use rage charts, you're going to do like 100+ damage combos, no problem at all. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Like a big tip for me: don't be intimidated by bears. Don't, you know, write them off as this goofy joke that's, you know, low tier and cringe or whatever. It's like a seriously cool character design in this game, and one of the ones that has impressed me the most so far. So definitely check it out. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to stream a little bit tonight, probably. Might play some bears on stream, so check that out if you're interested. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.